Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fair fans of all ages, welcome back. It's time for the Poultry and Rabbit Show here at the 2026 Los Animas County Fair. Should be a fun one, definitely. Even though the scales aren't tipped in terms of animal weight, the scales are off the charts in terms of cuteness for what we are about to see. We are going to begin with the bunnies today. I believe it will be breeding rabbits and then market rabbits. Actually, open class first, and then market rabbits, and then breeding rabbits after that. Should be a ton of fun. Quite a few groups of poultry, an open class, several entries in the pen of three chicken class, broiler class. Then there are the dual purpose chickens, a bunch of entries in those pen of three contests. Five different turkey entries, a pen of young, a female turkey entry, an entry of ducks, and then breeding poultry. We have quite the list of bunnies and poultry today.
I was gonna say normally you think like, oh, it's ducks and bunnies, can't be all that much, but no, they really split them up into here's your breed, and like at the big shows they split up the chickens into like, oh, here's all the Rhode Island Reds, here's all your like Kentucky Fried Chickens, and it's like they get specific with it. I don't know how specific we're getting today, but should be fun.
It is pretty fun. And as we get going, there may not be a lot of time to mention our various sponsors, so I would like to just kind of roll through a couple of those now. Big shout out to CD&K Sewer Services. That's the Moorfield family right here in the Trinidad area. Proud to service Los Animas County with all of your sewer and septic needs, whether that's installation, clean out, or inspection. Give Chris a call, 719 859 3268. One of our other big sponsors of the Los Animas County Fair broadcast is Black Gold Genetics. The Crane family out of Pritchett, Colorado, have spent decades building one of the best cedar stock operations here in the tri-state area. Their annual bull sale is at the end of February. 150 bulls and select females was part of that sale. They want to say congratulations to all of this year's exhibitors on their hard work and their summer projects. Sunflower Hill Taxidermy, that's Brock and Chantel Wilson right out of here, right in Honey, Colorado. They specialize in European style mounts of all your game that is harvestable here in the southern Colorado region: elk, deer, antelope, and others. Find them on Facebook, Sunflower Hill Taxidermy. Thank you, Brock and Chantel Wilson, for supporting these student powered broadcasts. We do have a couple other sponsors we'll make mention of and run a couple of commercials for. If you have been enjoying these broadcasts and would like to be a sponsor of Saddle Rock Sports, we don't just do county fairs. It's mostly sports. It's in the network name. That's our bread and butter and our speciality, as it were. We have six, actually five student-powered production crews this year. I'll tell you more about it as we continue on here. But now it's time for the Rabbit and Poultry Show. I'm going to hand it over to our PA man, Brock Brunelli.
And Casey Moore.
There we go. Had to do a little audio adjusting. Three entrants in this open class of rabbits: Casey Moore, James Costa, and Emberly Comden. Now, today we happen to be positioned behind some of the kiddos.
Today's officials, the superintendents, TK Rossetti, Janice Salapich, and Justin Lucero. Our junior superintendent is Lily Amato. Our rabbit judge is Terry Peterson. And our poetry judge is Kelly Sloan. Market Rabbit Pen of Three need to be getting ready. Tucker Listenby, Paisley Lucero, Sage Moore, Peyton Nelson, and Caleb Terry. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join the friends and family of the fair, it's a buyer's group that helps buy kids' animals. That'll be at the market sale at 6 p.m. If you want to join the buyer's group or want to get more details, please contact Bill Wilkinson or Tony Arnold.
It's a little hard to see from our vantage point for this show, but our rabbit judge is on the other side of everybody. She's making her way down the line and inspecting these open class exhibitors' rabbits, checking them out, saying hello, asking these little ones what they know about their bunnies.
Our judge for today is Terry Peterson. She is from Pagosa Springs, Colorado, where she's a retired grandma. Her education and background is a licensed rabbit judge for 20 years and rabbit superintendent at Weld County Fair 2010 to 2016. She raises 6 breeds of rabbits she judges in exhibits throughout the country. She also enjoys working with the kids. Let's give Terry Peterson a warm Los Animas County welcome. If you want to go back and check out the livestock shows of the county fair throughout the week, check out Saddle Rock Sports Network on YouTube, a company out of Branson, Colorado. They show sports games from high school and all over the country. They even went to Canada. Check them out on Saddle Rock Sports Network. Today's official photographer of the Los Animas County Fair is JC Sumter. Check out JC Sumter Photography at smugmug.com for shows across the week and today's photos.
I sure
Oh,
can.
we were muted for a little. Did you mute us? Were we muted the whole time?
We were muted that whole time.
All right. Well, folks, we are trying something different here. I'm going to send Brody over, and we are going to try to add some closer coverage for you here at the Rabbit Show. Okay, ladies and gents, I am sending Brody Doherty into the ring. We're going to have a little fun here today. There we go, all those competitors' projects. Having fun with the kids. Always a good time. Brody. Brody. Aim higher. I know. I know. But like the little teeny
Testing, testing. All right. Can you all hear me? I didn't think so. How about now? Is that one better? A little? Um, we've got a great little class. What are the peewees? We've got 6 rabbits, 6 little rabbit wranglers, and they all were able to answer my questions, which is, I think, very important. So they know a little bit about their rabbit. They know what the breeds were, or the crossbreed, as the case may be. They knew what they fed them, pellets. They didn't necessarily know the brand name, but they knew the pellets, so that's good. They all did a real good job of wrangling their rabbits for me, so I'd like you all to give them a big round of applause. They did a great job. Good job, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, right there leaving the ring, that is our future right there of Los Animas County. Let's give them one more round of applause. Up next on tap, ladies and gentlemen, Market Rabbit Pen of 3. Tucker Listenby, Paisley Lucero, Sage Moore, Peyton Nelson, and Caleb Terry.
All right, folks, we're going to have Brody Doherty in the ring on the remote cam. We got our first group now of market rabbits. It's pen of 3 time. Quite a few exhibitors in this class. Tucker Lisbony, Paisley Lucero, Sage Moore, Peyton Nelson, and Caleb Terry. And this is pretty fun. We have some very cute names on these exhibits. Cotton, DeAdrian, Dusty, Stitch, Peter, Luna, Shadow, Stormy, Floppy, Fluffy, and Mr. Clean. You gotta love that. All right, there we got our cam up front so you can see all the exhibitors. It's always kind of a challenge figuring out exactly what angle we want to keep things at. Judge working her way down left to right there on the screen. Always a fun time here at the Poultry and Rabbit Show. You know, we are seeing a continued growth in these smaller livestock projects, obviously. I believe one of the bigger factors is just simply the economics of these projects versus the economics of the larger animals. As we get ready for this next rabbit class, again, those of you watching at home, appreciate you tuning in today. Everything we do here on the Saddle Rock Sports Network is supported and financed by advertiser revenue and super fans. Local businesses all over, not just Los Animas County, but southern Colorado, northern New Mexico, have found that Saddle Rock Sports is a great way to get their business message out to a very loyal and committed local audience. If you would like to be
Ladies
one
and
of our
gentlemen,
Saddle
just
Rock
a quick
sponsors,
reminder. Your sale forms and your
that's
MQA, your meat quality assurance.
and again, those local sponsors doing a great job. If you would like to be one of those local sponsors, shoot us a message on Facebook. We would be happy to start that conversation with you, let you know what that is in terms of getting ready. Get you set up as a sponsor. Let me see it real quick. Is there a way? Yeah, like this most recent time you did it, and I know it's nearly impossible to tell. Whoop. Okay, folks, we are trying to bring you something new. Again, always working to get a little better shot. Let's see how that works. There we go. Now we got a nice view of our competitors. Let's see if we can make that view a little larger for you. Always something new to kind of work with and learn here on the Saddle Rock Sports Network. You're getting kind of the facial recognition pieces, but hey, at least you can see what's going on with your competitors. Our rabbit judge doing a really nice job of taking quality time with each animal. Look in the settings and see if there's a way to turn off that facial, those little slurs. I think it should be easy to find. Settings, track autofocus, no. Yeah, I don't know that we can. What if I change it to a different? That means nothing. What if I do? No, we don't like that. try that. Looks like our judge is giving one final look. Again, folks, if it stream looks a little different, you'll notice we're trying a little something different. We're actually using a smartphone as the main camera, but it's showing those little facial recognition squares. And we're going to, before the next class, try to figure out how that works, how to disable that function.
Most of them, I think all of them are crossbred, which is not a bad thing. I told the one young lady that, in my mind, the best meat rabbit is a New Zealand Californian cross. So be that as it is. We've got a fine selection of rabbits here. In fifth place will be this meat pen, if only because they lack the maturity to beat out the other animals in the class. They just need a little more time to fill out their loin and hindquarters for me. Um, but they are very uniform, so I will give her credit for that. Fourth place is going to be this Californian Rex crossbreed meat pen. Um, she's got good growth on them. She's got good loin and hindquarters. Putting the ribbon on the rabbit. Good loin and hindquarters on two of them, but the third one just kind of fails a little bit in type. It's a little bit flatter in type, not quite as um, deep in the loin or the hindquarters. Um, and that's why I gave that one fourth. Third place is this New Zealand Californian cross. They too are a little bit young to compete for higher in the class. I will say that they are the most uniform in the class, which is worth 20 points on my judging scale. So, um, kudos to the owner on that. That's kind of tough to do in the summer. All right. Second place. Was that third? Second place is this California, New Zealand, right? California, New Zealand cross. We're getting some nice wide loin on here, some nice full hindquarters. Um, Again, there's one rabbit just a little bit weaker in the loin than the other two, but I felt that it deserved to have a second place in this class. All right, first place. Another New Zealand Californian cross. The one's taking a nap, I think. Um, this is probably the oldest meat pen in this class. And because of that, they're better filled out in the loin and the hindquarters. And for somebody that may be purchasing them for to be processed, that is the meat pen that they would want to pay for. So congratulations, you guys. You did a great job with your meat pens.
That was the Market Rabbit only class pen of 3. So in 5th place, Paisley Lucero. 4th place, Sage Moore. 3rd place, Peyton Nelson. 2nd place, and your reserve grand champion, Tucker Listenby. And in 1st place in that class, and your Market Rabbit overall grand champion for the Country Roots and Cowboy Boots goes to Caleb Terry.
Congratulations to Caleb Terry winning that contest. As all the bunnies make their way out, we're going to try to work on that camera angle just a little bit and get that figured out for you. We'll be right back after this word from LARCC Trucking.
LARCC Trucking is the place to call if you have something to haul. A family-owned trucking business since 2021, LARCC is named after the owner's children, their motivation to create a successful future. LARCC is ready to help you haul your hay, cattle, gravel, or equipment anywhere in southwestern United States. LARCC also buys and sells hay. Give them a call today at 970-274-0826 and get ready to haul.
How to disable face tracking squares on Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra.
And Gabriel Williamson with Gage Rabbit.
Tracking autofocus feature. Tap settings, scroll down to tracking autofocus and turn it off.
Our reserve grand champion Market Rabbit was donated by Trinidad Elks number 181. We truly appreciate the support. Our grand champion Market Rabbit was donated by Home and Funeral Home, Ty and Jen Winner. Thank you.
It is off.
Those over 6 months need to be getting ready. Stage more with Snowball.
Oh, that's fine. We'll just leave it there. Hold on. I don't know. Just have to deal with it. So about 2 in. No, it still shows it. Ah, well, it is what it is. All right, second contest here.
Sponsor is CD and K Sewer
This is
Services.
commercial bucks over 6 months.
Reward. We'll have two classes. We'll have
There's Sage Moore right there also in this contest. Caden Salapich, Faith Thurston, and Gabriel Williamson. As a reminder, we will have the round robin showmanship tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for you on the Saddle Rock Sports Network. And then at 6 p.m. is the market sale. Now, although we will have it streamed live on the Saddle Rock Sports YouTube channel, just like this video right here, you must be present in person to actually bid on any animals at the market sale. There is not a way to do online bidding in our contest this year. And I think that's a whole level of technical complexity that is probably pretty expensive to implement. So you got to be live and in person. So come on down to the Los Animas County Fairgrounds if you're able to. There's also another way to be a participant if you're not a direct bidder. You can be part of one of several different community buyer pools. There's one kind of general pool called the Friends of Los Animas County. You can contribute some money towards that goes towards purchasing one of this, probably several of the exhibitor projects. You can also be what we call an add-on contributor. So instead of being a part of that community pool, you can give a special gift and little dollar amount in extra to one of the exhibitors, maybe several of the exhibitors, maybe a bunch of exhibitors. Depends on what you would like to do, what your budget needs are. Lots of ways to help support these kiddos. Again, without the generous support of the buyers in our area, it just is not a feasible thing, as the cost, for young families and folks in our area to continue in these projects. You got to pay back those feed bills somehow, and the cost of feed always keeps going up, just like everything else. So we need your help even more. All right, looks like the judge is about ready to give her reasons and place this class.
Are we on? Oh, there we are. Okay, we have a fine class of over 6 months bucks. I will call them senior bucks. Um, we've got a couple of Californian Rex crosses, I believe they told me. We have a New Zealand and a Rex cross. They don't know what with, but it definitely has the Rex fur. These are great animals as far as the loin, the hindquarters. I find a couple of them have a fault with a little bit long in the shoulder, but not too bad. I guess some of them even sired some of the meat pens that I judged, so that's pretty cool. Shows what they can do. Today, fourth place, mostly because it's really long in the shoulders and not quite as wide in the loin as my other animals. Um, third place will be this Californian Rex Cross, mostly because the coat is not in good condition. It's really harsh to the touch, and it's also a little long in the shoulders. Does have a nice wide loin on it and nice full hindquarters like I like to see. Second place will be this Californian, did you say Rex? Rex Cross? Okay, California New Zealand cross. Um, it's taking second today because of the coat condition, and to be honest, there's not much you can do in the summertime for coat condition. They tend to want to shed their coats and try to stay cooler, but that's my reasoning behind that. My first place is the New Zealand there, and it is just an awesome animal. Very typey, well balanced, nice wide loin, full in the hindquarters, and the owner did tell me she hopes to breed him soon. So kudos to these kids. Thank you.
Our senior commercial bucks over 6 months. Fourth place, Gabriel Williamson. Third place, Sage Moore. Second place, Caden Salapich. And in first place with Monterey Jack, Faith Thurston.
As we get ready for our next class, just want to give a quick shout out to Croissant Red Angus out of Briggsdale, Colorado. Quality Red Angus heifers and bulls, replacement heifers, cow-calf pairs available as well. Give them a call, 970-222-6094. Thank you, Croissant Red Angus, for being one of our sponsors of the 2026 Los Animas County Fair.
Faith Thurston will join final drive here soon.
This next class is a single exhibitor class. Commercial does over 6 months. This is Sage Moore and her rabbit Snowball. And then Faith Thurston will return here momentarily when we have the breeding grand drive here in the rabbit show. Explanation from our judge here.
Okay, we have a senior doe, or a doe that is 6 months or older. This is a doe I was told that has had one litter. She's had at least one litter, and she's in fantastic shape. I can't say that about myself, but she's got great depth up over the loin, great width of loin to balance with the depth. She's full in the hindquarters. Maybe just a tad weak in the shoulders, but not too bad. Um, this is one nice looking doe. She will take first place.
Congratulations to our
Sage
class
Moore
two
ends up
winner,
winning that one.
Sage Moore. Sage Moore will stay in the ring right now, enjoying her from class one.
Folks, you can hear the engine starting to roar. That can mean only one thing. It's grand drive time.
Oh, class one, Monterey Jack, class four is donated by CB&K Services. If they are here to the entrance to provide the award.
So our two entries, we got the buck shown by Grace Thurston. His name is Monterey Jack. Sorry, Faith Thurston. Monterey Jack versus Sage Moore's doe, Snowball.
And watch. They're
It was just announced over the PA. There is delicious brisket barbecue. I might be having to head over there just across the way outside the pavilion. Let's hear the reasons from the judge. Who gets to be the grand champion exhibit here in the Rabbit Show?
All right, two fantastic rabbits sitting on the table right now. I'd like you to give a round of applause for these two exhibitors. They did a great job. Reserve grand today is the doe, which means the grand champion is that buck. Two very fine looking animals. They've got the qualities we look for in the meat tight rabbits. It's just the buck has a little bit better fur condition today. Thank you.
the breeding rabbit results. Your reserve grand champion coming out of class two, Sage Moore with Snowball. And your overall grand champion with your breeding rabbit with Monterey Jack goes to Faith Thurston.
There you have it, folks. The Rabbit Show is concluded. We are going to move into the poultry exhibits here momentarily. Congratulations to all those rabbit
Thank you all
showmen.
for letting me come over and judge your rabbit show. I had a lot of fun. You got great kids. Some
We're going to be
fantastic
beginning with
specimens
the
of
open
rabbits.
poultry show.
I would like
Quite
to
a
encourage
few
everyone to
younger
think about
showmen.
having a rabbit showmanship. And I think that's important because as a former superintendent of rabbits, I got to watch my little bitty kids who are so shy, did not want to talk to me, grow up, and they did the showmanship. They had to tell me why they did this with the rabbit. They had to show me they knew how to take care of the rabbit.
So I mentioned earlier
They
one of the
even had
ways
to
you can
talk to me
support us
about
is
their
by
rabbit.
being a Saddle Rock
And
Sports
I've seen
super
kids
fan.
this high
If you
grow
enjoyed
up
what you're watching
and
today, you
work
can help us keep the
as
student broadcasters
politicians and be
paid
able to
by
argue their
scanning
points.
either of
So
those
it's important
QR
for
codes there
kids to
via
learn how
PayPal
to
or Venmo,
discuss
your
their points.
online
So I
payment
encourage your parents
vehicle
or
of choice, and you can
see
pick
if you can
any
include
level
that
of support
at some
that works
point.
for your
Thank
budget
you
or
very much
whatever
for
you
inviting
feel.
me.
And we appreciate that kind of support. Again, we do not use any school funds to pay any of our school broadcasters at all, whether it's a sports broadcast, a county fair broadcast, or some other kind of special event. We couldn't do it without sponsors just like you and just like our business sponsors as well. Quick shout outs again to our specific spare sponsors: Black Gold Genetics, CDK Sewer Services, and Sunflower Hill Taxidermy. Also not mentioned because I don't have their logo up big style is LARCC Trucking. We'll run their commercial again here momentarily. But now it's the open class chickens. Let's go over to that different camera, get you that super duper cute kiddos front and center on screen. There we go. We got a bunch of young showmen here today.
Donna Lackey, she's from Trinidad, Colorado, most of the time. Her current appointment and title is the Colorado Community College System Nutrition Professor. Her education and background is a master's in food science, food safety, and human nutrition from CSU. Poultry science from the University of Wisconsin. She is also the former Colorado Poultry Improvement Director, former State Fair Poultry Superintendent, American Poultry Associate Licensed Judge, and her other information is she loves everything about poultry, including breeding, hatching, showing, and eating. Let's give Miss Lackey a warm Los Animas County welcome.
And thank you to our judge, Miss Lackey. She's working her way up and down the table, talking with each showman. Appreciate the time there. It is a fun time to watch some of these youngest future exhibitors, current 4-H Clover Buds, looking at the future of livestock showing here in Los Animas County. As the judge continues to make her way down there, just a reminder, we will have the round robin competition starting tomorrow at 9 o'clock right here for you on the Saddle Rock Sports Network. Round robin's always a lot of fun, and that the senior division, intermediate division, and junior division showman champions from each species will show not only their species, but then rotate to show every single species. It's kind of a big, very active, very fun time where kids are really stretched beyond just their specialty or favorite animal to see how good they can show just about everything. Horses, beef cattle, dairy cattle. Although I don't believe we had any dairy cattle entrance this year. Goats, sheep, hogs, and there might even be something I'm forgetting somewhere there. In prior years, there has been a dairy cattle and dairy goat showmanship, and those are both showed differently than the respective market sides of that equation. It's always a fun one to watch. The winner, the senior winner of that contest, gets to go compete at the Colorado State Fair.
And that's a wonderful thing. You guys, you're going to be the people that are here in a couple of years taking all the awards at the fair because you're getting used to coming to the fair and sharing your bird. Very good job.
Congratulations to these Clover Buds. This is the future of our county. They're going to be walking away with a ribbon and some cash.
All right, so the Cloverbud show is done. They get a little cash prize, maybe enough to go buy a popsicle or a snow cone here at the county fair. Tell you what, the snow cone salesmen have been printing money over there. There has been a non-stop line at the snow cone station. That is smart economics on a hot, hot day just like this. All right, we're going to take a minute and go to LARCC Trucking just to give them a little shout out and to tell them thank you for their support.
LARCC Trucking is the place to call if you have something to haul. A family-owned trucking business since 2021, LARCC is named after the owner's children, their motivation to create a successful future. LARCC is ready to help you haul your hay, cattle, gravel, or equipment anywhere in southwestern United States. LARCC also buys and sells hay. Give them a call today at 970-274-0826 and get ready to haul.
Welcome back. It's our market pen of 3 broilers coming on in. On my list, I've got 10 entrants. Eleanor Comden with 2 pens of 3. Elise Comden with 2 pens of 3. Ethelyn Comden with 2 pens of 3. So a whole bunch of chickens there. It's going to be an interesting logistical question. How are they going to fit them all on the tables? Well, it's not just the 3 Comden girls. We also have Daniel Garcia with his 3 pens, Henrietta, Gloria, and Bonnie. Julian Garcia with his 3 broilers, Cornelia, Pancha, and Hennifer. Callie Minsick with her broilers, and Kenley Minsick with her pen of 3 as well. So let's see how this one shakes out. Looks like they're mostly squeezed onto the table.
for me while I'm judging. I'm going to explain what I'm looking for so that you have an idea of what I'm doing. I'm only going to do that with the first couple of sets. Okay, so the first thing that I'm doing is I'm looking at these birds to see how even they are. Because when you're looking at processing a bird commercially, the equipment is set for certain sizes and shapes. And if you get an oddball, it can just tear the carcass up. So we don't want that. So that would be a real fault. When you look at these birds, they're very even in size and shape. But now I want to feel them to see if they have good muscling quality and how even the muscling quality is. So I'm feeling in the front of them how wide their breast is, how firm it is, if their keel is straight, around their wings, around their, where we would say it's a drumstick. And so the only fault I would give this set, usually I use cards and I write it, but the only fault I would give that set is that one of them has an extremely wider breast, and so it's going to weigh a lot more. So again, I'm looking at them to see how even they look. And also, can they move around or do they don't have an even gait? Are they getting too heavy? They can't handle their self. And so again, one of these is much wider and heavier across the breast. But in general, the first set had better muscling than the second one. It was closer to being done, ready to butcher. This set is very even. It has even muscling and really good muscling. Okay, we don't need it anymore.
All right, looks like our judge is conferring with our extension agent, Sydney Wilkinson, on some questions or rules.
Okay, so this is for 4-H or FFA. This is a really typical set of birds that I'm looking at. I'm going to start with placing the top 3. And the reason I'm going to do that is to give you some background of why. Okay? So we're judging these birds today if they were butchered today. Okay? So this is going to be the champion market trio. It's not the heaviest trio, but it has the best firm muscling, the most even muscling. One of the birds is slightly bigger than the other two. It is. But that's better than this set, which is going to be second place. It has firm muscling, except it's one of the birds is overdone. So if you feel these birds, you should be able to judge market birds by just feeling for the most part. And if you felt these birds in the front above the breastbone, it would be really mushy, like there's something in the crop, except that's not the crop. That's excess tissue or fat that's starting to collect. So when you buy a chicken in the grocery store and that chicken has a whole bunch of extra fat, which I love to use for cooking, okay, but you don't want to pay for that like it's meat. And so that's the biggest difference between these two sets. These are all heavier. You might get more meat, but you have to butcher these today because they're having a hard time getting up and moving around, okay? Those are not having a hard time getting up and walking around. You can wait a good week probably to do those. The third place set are these, and it's the exact same problem except 2 of these birds are overdone. And so, and these don't want to get up and move around either. They can't hardly handle their weight. So the great thing is we can grow chicken really fast. The bad thing is messing with their nature of growing causes other health issues. Oh well. This is why they butcher them when they're so young. Um, the fourth place set, all the other sets are smaller, but for the most part, they're, I wouldn't have a problem eating any of them today. Okay, they're ready to butcher. If you want to butcher them, if you want to wait, you can wait a little bit. And so this is going to be the No, this is going to be the third or the fourth place. These are going to be the fifth place. And it's all the same reasoning, evenness, all of that stuff. Sixth place is here. And seventh and eighth and ninth. The reason these are ninth is they're nine total. Yep, okay. The reason these are the ninth place is one of them is so young that it's peeping still. It doesn't even have an adult voice yet. And so it's considerably lighter than the other two. So the set is way off. Okay, still excellent to eat. So you guys did a great job of raising these birds. And the only thing I can tell you to do better in the future is to raise more than what you may have raised so that you can get a set that is absolutely identical to each other and not overdone and not underdone. So the heaviest set that's identical that walks around smoothly. Okay? But great job, you guys.
Our pen of three broilers, 10th place, Elise Comden. Ninth place, Ethlyn Comden. Eighth place, Ethlyn Comden. Seventh place, Kenley Minsick. Sixth place, Elise Comden. Fifth place, Eleanor Comden. Fourth place, Eleanor Comden. Third place, Daniel Garcia. Second place, Julian Garcia. And for your pen of three broilers, class winner goes to Callie Minsick.
Congratulations to all of our pen of three broiler competitors. Now it's going to be the pen of three dual purpose birds. Let's take a minute and give another shout out to one of our sponsors, Salapitch Insurance.
You were there at the beginning. You stood behind me, guiding me through good times and bad, teaching me lessons I wouldn't appreciate until later, preparing me for the day when you couldn't be here. What you've given me, I'll carry wherever I go. And because of your planning, I know I'll go far.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Right Tires is your one-stop shop for fuel and tires in Kim, Colorado. Located on Highway 160, Right Tires has diesel and unleaded fuel available 24 hours a day. If you need a quick tire fix or a set of new tires, they'll get you what you need. Family owned and operated, they know that when our school and community thrives, we all thrive. Right Tires is proud to support the Kim Branson Mustangs and this student broadcast.
These birds for what stage of laying they're in. And the way that you do that is you measure the uh, you measure the opening for their cloaca between the bones, between the breastbone down, basically where the egg channel would open up for them to lay the egg. If it's too tight, they can't lay an egg yet. If it's way too loose, then they're probably coming to the end of their laying life and you're probably not getting a lot of eggs. So I'm looking at meat quality and the odds that they're laying eggs.
There you go. We got a nice explanation from our judge as some of the different characteristics she'll be looking at as she judges these dual purpose birds, both on meat production and egg production. Quite a few entrants today. We have Ty Wilson, Dalton Dowrick, Marley Mantelli, Mason Riddle, Kennedy Squires, Addison Terry, and actually a second pen from Ty Wilson. Now, if you're seeing any of these birds and thinking, wow, these would be fantastic additions to my freezer or to my flock, many of them will be for sale at the market sale tomorrow night starting at 6 p.m. We are going to broadcast that sale, but to actually bid on any of the projects and purchase any of the projects, you must be present to win. We are not accepting bids online. I believe that would be a very difficult adventure and a very pricey one to actually implement. So, yes, come on down to the Los Animas County Fairgrounds in Trinidad. There's a special dinner for the buyers starting at 4 o'clock.
Young Tom class needs to be getting ready for the
And
market
then you can
turkeys.
participate
Peyton Baker
in some
is with
very
booking
yummy
and
steak dinner.
booking.
And then come and bid on some projects.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed any of today's action or want to check out the action throughout the week, make sure to check out Saddle Rock Sports Network based out of Branson, Colorado. They'll have all of it on YouTube on the Saddle Rock Sports Network. Check them out and you won't miss any of the action.
I just got a shout out from the stands. You may have heard it through my microphone. Had some fun crowd hooting and hollering. I even got JC Sumter, official LAC Fair photographer, to maybe get my picture up on the Smug Mug gallery. You never know. What a fun little time. Still got a pretty decent crowd of family and friends supporting these poultry showmen today. Although I was raised in a cattle production family, we moved back to the area about 20 years ago. And my sons, when they got to be 4-H in age, we let them try cattle projects. One of my sons, Will, who's actually a senior now, he showed heifers for quite a few years. My other two sons showed steers 1 year, and then they opted to go for smaller projects. And so we have raised quite a number of broilers, Cornish cross rocks. They have been great eating. We learned how to process up to about 30 birds in an afternoon using some skills that my wife learned from her grandmother and from some techniques we learned on YouTube watching some other folks do it. Often became a community event. We would invite neighbors and friends over to help us process chickens for an afternoon. And if you haven't had the pleasure of doing that, folks, let me tell you, it's a special and unique smell, but it is all worth it when your freezer is full of yummy homegrown chicken. And those Cornish cross rocks, as our judge was talking about, how they grow them fast. They grow to maturity in about 10 weeks from hatching. So you can order them and you have to plan it and time it just right. And if you go too long, they begin to grow too large and they kind of die because they can't handle their own weight, especially in the heat of the summer. Amazing how that works. If you were to buy other poultry from a hatchery or an online service, as the chicks come in the mail, just a standard bird, you got to wait 5 or 6 months before they start laying eggs. But those meat birds, they are ready to process in 2 short months. Pretty cool workings of genetics. And here comes our judge, ready for an explanation. No, just talk.
Okay. So this looks really strange to you guys, but it's because of evenness. Okay, so if you're raising a bunch of chickens and for dual purpose and you want eggs and then you want to get consistent meat later, then you don't want a skinny chicken. That one's going to lay more eggs, but there's no meat there. Make great bone broth though. Okay, so These by far have the most meat on them. And they're also laying age. And so that, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. These are, these by far have the most meat on them and they're laying age. And so that's really good. The second place ones, these birds, these birds for dual purpose will maintain their self better, and they're also laying age. They're they're doing well laying, and so these are your second place set. The third place set is simply because they're absolutely even, and people don't think about what the market is looking for, and the market is looking for small chickens sometimes too, for different culinary reasons, or just because some of us live by ourselves now and we don't want a whole chicken to cook. And so these, I think, are the best third place because they're exceptionally consistent and they have a good amount of meat. Okay, and then we come to fourth place here, and these are very deserving of fourth place, but they don't have the volume of meat on their bodies. So I don't know the age, but if they'll put that on or if they won't. But these would be really good. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. So that's third, no, fourth. Okay. These are going to be fifth place. They're too young. I wouldn't slaughter them, and they're not laying yet. Okay? But they'll get there. And then these are going to be sixth place because they're even, but they're like those. They're way too young. Those are more even than this set. They just need to grow up some more. And then these are going to be seventh place mostly because the set is uneven. And so, and they need to continue growing up. They're young, there's not a lot of breast meat there. Okay? But keep raising them. Good job, you guys. Good job.
Congratulations to our pen of 3 dual purpose. 7th place, Marley Mentali. 6th place, Kennedy Squires. 5th place, Ty Wilson. 4th place, Ty Wilson. 3rd place, Addison Terry. 2nd place, Dalton Dowrick. And your class winner, you'll meet him back for the grand drive, Mr. Mason Riddle.
All right, congratulations to all those showmen.
Will stay here for the grand drive. The second places will follow right behind them. If the grand champions pulled out of your class that you got second in, you'll get thrown into consideration for the grand drive.
Keep your car maintained and in good health at JM Tire. Come in for an oil change and let us swap out your winter tires and get ahead of the crowd and service your AC before the weather turns warm. Need more than a tune-up? We are a full-service auto mechanic that can take care of the toughest jobs with honest hands. JM Tire is located in Trinidad, Walsenburg, and Raton, so we're always nearby if you need us. And if you happen to have some bad luck, JM Tire offers 24/7 towing at all our locations. Drop by or schedule an appointment at JM Tire today.
From the barbecue place? Oh. Would you watch? You want to work the camera for me? Will.
I'm actually next.
Oh, yeah, Jody, would you do that? Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies ladies and gentlemen, we got some Thanksgiving dinner out here in the ring right now. Tayton Baker, Blake O'Gean, and Blake O'Gean. Our young hen class needs to be getting ready. Blake O'Gean, Tayton Baker, and Tayton Baker.
All right, we got some turkey showmanship happening here. Tate Baker with 2 of these toms, Blake Olguin with the 3rd.
Blake, you want a pig stick?
We're getting pig sticks to show turkeys. I'm sorry, folks. This is fun. This is entertaining. Something brand new here at the county fair this year. This is great. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I just got a giggle. Oh wow. This is you never know what you're going to get at the county fair, folks. And sometimes you just got to smile and giggle. This is great. The showmanship will be participating in the grand in round robin. I'm kidding. This is not going to be in round robin, but I so much wish it would. This is fantastic.
Okay, so this is an easy set of turkeys to judge. What we're looking for is an even gait. Be sure it can still walk around, because when they stop walking around, you run into other problems. Then I'm also looking for no excess fatty tissue up above the breastbone in the neck. And there's only one turkey that doesn't have that kind of waist. And so that's the turkey that's going to win. They all have firm muscling. They could all be butchered any time. The other 2 are going to have more waist on the carcass.
So Blake Olguin is going to win that contest. And Tate Baker's 2 turkeys will come in 2nd and 3rd.
For young Tom class market turkeys, 3rd place, Blake
I think they
O'Gean.
all win
2nd
showmanship
place, Tayton
ribbons.
Baker. And the jockey winning this
I think the pig
class
sticks
1 of the young Tom,
was really the
Blake
difference
O'Gean.
maker today. Talk about fun. That was a good time right there. I think they should do that with the rabbits. Chase the rabbits around with a stick.
Now we go to our young hens, our 2nd to last class of our
Another set of
market.
turkeys coming in,
Blake
hens.
O'Gean, Tayton Baker, and Tayton Baker.
So again, Blake Olguin, owner of one of these hens, and Tate owning 2. Oh, this is just fun. Uh-oh, I hear ducks behind me. I don't think they're going to try to get them out to walk them. And if they do, that's all right. We're here for the show. This is the Bearcat football front line showing this group of hens out here today, folks. Angle up higher a little bit. That is just brought a smile to my face. Uh-oh, we got some turkeys on the loose. They're going to have to sprint over. Oh, we've got one about to take flight. We'll see how these offensive linemen can handle these big, massive birds. But I appreciate that. Seeing something new, seeing something fun. Would have never thought this would be part of it. I think this should be part of all poultry shows now. And this is only a fair, natural way to truly exhibit your project.
So
Bro.
with the hens, two of them are starting to put on a lot of extra fat up around the upper chest. All of them have good muscling. Um, what you see, what you see with these is this one is walking evenly. It's not really knock-kneed or bow-legged, which is by far better, but it doesn't have the best meat characteristics. And so, but we're going to go with the best meat today. So that's going to put this turkey in first place. Even though it's smaller, it doesn't have the waist on it that the other two have. And then this one is second, and this one is third.
Our third place for our young hen market turkeys, Tate and Baker. Second place, Blake O'Gean, and staying right here for the grand drive, Tate and Baker.
So Tate Baker
We now
gets
enter
first and
our
third.
last class
Blake
of
Olguin
the market.
places in
William
second.
Doty with his duck.
Zoom in a little bit, please. No, you just use the thumb thing. Use your thumb. Other way. There you go. This is Will Doherty right here. Recent Branson graduate, headed to Colorado Mesa University
Need to be getting ready for the grand drive. First place
with
for the
his
Penna 3 broilers.
broiler ducks.
First place from the Penna 3 dual purpose, Mason Riddle. First place from the Young Toms, Blake O'Gee. First place from the Young Hens, Tate Baker. And eventually join us for the grand drive with his ducks will be William Doherty.
We were joking. For those of you watching, may or may not know, Will Doherty is my son, my youngest of three.
Turn in your sales sheets or your meat quality assurance. Make sure to do that right now at the old concession stands.
The only thing I would change about these ducks is the muscling does not carry very far back into their breast. So that leads me to think that they're young, probably. They just need to live longer, get more exercise. With age and exercise, hopefully they'll develop more muscling. So first place.
Congratulations to our class winner staying here for the final drive, Mr. William Doherty.
All right.
And now it's time for your 2026 Los Animas County final drive for your market chickens. Coming out of the pen of 3 broilers, Callie. Out of the pen of 3 dual purpose, Mason Riddle. Out of the Young Toms, Blake O'Gee. Out of Young Hens, Tate Baker.
Zoom it out a little bit.
And to wrap it up, out of the Ducks, William Doherty.
All righty, folks, we got our
Second places
market
need to be
poultry
on
here.
standby. They need to come
Tate
right
Baker,
behind
Blake
the
Olguin,
table in case the grand champion
Darcy
gets hit
Minsick.
out of their class. They get thrown into consideration for the grand champion. That needs to be
Wait, that's
William
not right.
Garcia for the Pen of 3 broilers, Dalton Dowrick for the Pen of 3 dual purpose, Tayton Baker with a young tom, Blake Olguin with a young hen.
Mason Riddle, Will Doherty, and young Miss Minsick.
Our reserve grand champion market poultry was donated by Scott Ranch. Myron and Kathy Scott. If they are here today, please come to the entrance to present the award. Our grand champion market poultry was from Los Animas Herfinale County Health Department. If there's a representative from Los Animas Herfinale County Health Department, please come forward to the entrance to present the award.
Looks like our judge has already possibly made her decision. She's over there chatting with extension agent.
Okay, so this is kind of an easy choice today. Isn't that nice? Um, and so I look at it like I look at looking at standard show chickens. You know, they're all worth 100 points, and then you go start looking at them, and they start losing points for defects or just goofy little things. And because of that, it makes it easy. So it's the decision is really between these 3 chickens and the 1 turkey, or these 2 chickens and the 1 turkey for champion and reserve. The turkey isn't, she could still grow up and get a lot more meat. And so that's why she's not in the running, sorry. But keep raising her. She's going to be great at the right time for Thanksgiving. And so, you know, look forward to that. Now, when we look at dual purpose or we look at market purpose, one of these market purpose birds, if I'm really, really picky, one of them is starting to put on a little bit more fat up at the front of the breast. And that's the only difference between these two. The dual purpose breed has everything right about it. They're laying, they have really good meat production going, the muscling is really good. This is just an exceptional dual purpose entry. And I don't see very many like that for dual purpose. Between these and the black ones, they were both excellent entries. And so these are going to be the grand champion, and these are going to be the reserve.
Your grand champion goes to Mason Riddle, and your reserve grand champion is Callie Minsick.
Congratulations to Mason Riddle and Callie Minsick,
Reserve and
grand champion and
please
reserve
stay in
grand
the ring
champion.
for your photo op. All exhibits, please. Chickens in its last ever Santa County Fair, your country racing cowboy boots grand champion, Mason Riddle.
All right, folks, as we get ready for a couple of more pens of birds, let's hear from another one of our sponsors.
Arthur Roll-Off Incorporated, located in Raton, New Mexico, offers roll-off and dumpster services throughout northeastern New Mexico and southeastern Colorado. Cleaning out your house or around your house. Do you have construction jobs? Our 30-yard roll-offs are perfect for these bigger jobs. You load it, we haul it. Do you have day-to-day trash? We offer 3-yard dumpster services that get dumped weekly or bi-weekly. For more information regarding prices and services, please visit our website, arthurrolloff.com, or call our office at 575-445-8072.
This class cockerel and the one hen and one cockerel and the all other standard breeds. Those automatically go to the grand drive for breeding, so they will enter the ring when called on. We do have to sort out the American Class 1 hen. Coming out first is Ethlyn Comden with Big Mama, Dalton Dowrick with Goldie, Alexander Goen with Raptor, Alexander Goen with Nugget, and Kennedy Squires with Annie Yoakley. Ladies and gentlemen, another announcement. If you'd like to join the friends and family of
This is the hen class. 5 exhibitors: Dalton Dowrick, Ethelyn Comden, Alexander Gowan has 2, and Kennedy Squires with 1. And the names of these hens, they're pretty fun. Big Mama, Goldie, Raptor, Nugget, and maybe my favorite, Annie Yoakley. That's pretty fun. As they are now announcing it, if you're watching from home, Fairboard trying something new this year, and that if all of the grand champions have the option, instead of receiving a buckle, they'll have a selection of 4 potential prizes, and each winner gets to pick actually what they want. So you can pick the really cool traditional buckles or a different type of prize gift that's actually customizable. So kind of a new thing available. I think we may have to interview some of those turkey showmen out there. That was an entertaining experience for all of us. For all of us. Kind of looking at our judge, she got scratched up a little bit on her forearm. She's powering through. Appreciate everyone that comes together to make these shows possible, from our sponsors, our exhibitors, all the parents that are involved.
This is a breeding show. This is how good they are for their breed description. So the American Poultry Association publishes a book. Every licensed judge has to take a test that was harder than it was to get my master's degree, which is ridiculous, but still. And so you kind of have to memorize the whole book. And then you can't make a mistake. If you're not absolutely positive, you better look back at the book, which I did in one of the cases here. And so the problem with the first bird, like I said, I walk up to every bird, it's worth 100 points. The problem with this first bird is it has the wrong kind of comb. It shouldn't have a single comb. The bird next to it is the same breed, just a different variety, a different color. It has the correct comb. And so having the wrong comb is a disqualification in a regular show, but I don't have to do that here because it's a county fair. We're here for the fun of it more. And so I wouldn't breed this bird because you would keep getting the wrong comb. That doesn't mean the bird isn't going to lay great eggs. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be great to eat. There's a whole lot of other purposes for this bird. But look at a standard of perfection and be sure that it has the right parts, because that will hurt you. Okay, now this one, what did you tell me it was? Breed? Oh, New Hampshire. Yeah. So this isn't a New Hampshire because it has beard and muffs. And the only thing that has beards and muffs are Americanas. Ericanas have feathers, whole feathers that flip back, and they have beards like this. And so this is a mixed breed. As far as its shape and its coloring goes, it's a great New Hampshire, but it has the wrong parts too. And unfortunately, when you buy chicks from hatcheries, this is the kind of thing that you get. But again, look at the references for these breeds and know what breed you're showing, okay? Now, this little guy he said that it was a black Plymouth Rock. And I'm not sure what this is, but we know it's not black. But it is barred, and that is a color that we can have. And so we're going to call it a barred Plymouth Rock. And then it's just young. We don't know what it's going to be like yet, huh? And it needs to be a lot heavier. It needs to grow up, okay? And then he said this one was a white leghorn. And in fact, what this one is, because it has ticking, black ticking in its hackle, this is a Delaware. And as far as Delawares go, other than it being kind of smutty, the color is kind of dirty. I don't know if it can be cleaned up or not, or if that's the color that it has. Other than that, it may end up being a really beautiful Delaware when it grows up. And so those are the birds that you guys have. All right? So today, the first place bird is going to be this bird. The second place is going to be this bird. And the third place is here. The fourth place is here because this bird has pretty well grown up. We know what it's going to be. And this will be the fifth place bird because it's too young and we just don't know what it's going to look like. Good job, you guys. Those are really pretty birds. You took good care of them.
Alrighty, the judge has made her decision. In fifth place, Ethlyn Comden. Fourth place, Dalton Dowrick. Third place, Alexander Goen. Second place, Alexander Goen. And your class winner, Annie Yoakley with Kennedy Squires. Now needing to enter the ring is the one hen and one drake, Dalton Dowrick, William Doherty, and William Doherty.
All right, here's another pen of ducks. Will Doherty with 2 pens and Dalton Dowrick with 1. Each pen has a hen and a drake.
To be getting ready, the American Class 1 hen, Kennedy Squires.
This would be a fun moment to have mic'd up exhibitors see what Will's really telling the judge. I think it would be awesome during the open classes when all of the judges often go and ask the littlest guys about their projects. That's what I would like to have mic'd up as they give those stories and fun names, and the cuteness factor would be off the charts.
So with ducks, the rule is waterfowl. If you handle one, you have to handle them all. So you just don't even touch one of them because they just do really rude things to judges. Everything from explosive pooping to biting you to their of aggressive birds. You wouldn't think so. They're so cute, but they are. Um, with these guys, to make these a really good set of call ducks, they need to have a rounder head and a shorter neck so it looks like somebody put a golf ball down on their body. That's what they should look like. And it's really hard to get that, but at least these are a good size. And that's usually the biggest problem too. So you're halfway there, okay? So if you breed them, keep the ones with the really round golf ball heads sitting on their backs, on their shoulders. With these, there's quite a variety in these two sets of birds, and they're all the same breed. And so when you look at the males in the sets here, it's the coloring, they should be looking like this. And we're not seeing that over here. And so that's a little bit of a problem, and I would question the sex. Okay, unless you know for sure it's breeding the hen, I would question the sex. Because usually color tells you a lot. I like I like the bodies on these better. I appreciate that you put the same, well, their age is how you separated them. And so, but I would put the longest, thinnest body with the best shoulder spans together if you have enough of them to choose what you want to do. Color doesn't count for everything. You just have to watch it for disqualifications, that's all. Okay? But I think apple yards are a really good dual purpose, and that's probably what they were developed for. So I think I'm still going to go with these for first place, these for second, and these for third.
So Will Doherty's one of his pens takes first. Dalton Dalrick takes second. And the other Will Doherty pin takes third.
Second place, Dalton Down. Stand right here for the third time.
You know what this means, folks. You hear the engines revving. It's time for another Grand Drive. Let's have a little fun here today, folks. I hope you're enjoying watching from home. I know I'm learning a lot. I hope you're learning a lot at home as well. Again, we will have two broadcasts for you tomorrow at 9 a.m. The round robin competition, where the top showmans from the seniors, juniors, and intermediate showmen all go head to head, showing one of every showmanship species: horse, cattle, goats, sheep. I'd love to see turkey showmen, hogs. And I think turkey showmanship should now be part of it. I think what we saw today was a beautiful example of creativity and athleticism by the Bearcat linemen with those turkeys. Now it is grand drive time. These are all the breeding poultry. We have various chickens, Will's pen of ducks, some hens, some cockerels. Tickle gear. There you're getting an up-close view of Ethelyn Comden's entry there. That's funny. One more pin coming back in. Dalton Dowrick with a late entry. Now, we didn't actually have, they were all single entry classes. So instead of bringing them in one at a time, they decided to bring in those cockerels of various ages and varieties straight into the grand drive. So appreciate the time efficiency there on that move. There we go, getting up close and personal. Getting cinematic on the remote camera there. Grand drive time. There we got our judge giving Rooster the once over. If you're enjoying what you're watching, if you want to keep track of, watch more fun action this fall, we'll have all sorts of football and volleyball for you starting towards the end of August as the sports seasons begin. We have 5 crews here as part of the Saddle Rock Sports Network: the Branson Kim crew, Honey, Des Moines, New Mexico, La Junta High School, and South Baca. If you're from any of those regions, you can subscribe to the Saddle Rock Sports YouTube channel, and we will have all of the, well, not each and every game. Some of our crews only cover home games. Several of our crews go to away games. Kind of depends on crew availability and the logistics for some of those long road trips. It is a ton of fun what we get to do with all these student broadcasters. Last year we produced 321 live broadcast games. We employed 75 different student broadcasters throughout the school year. Had the opportunity to broadcast the 6-man football all-star game, Colorado versus Kansas. That was a lot of fun. Last summer we went up to Canada, Rosetown, Saskatchewan, and broadcast the Can-Am game, Team USA versus Team Canada, international 6-man football showdown. All right, let's see who our winner is today. Maybe it's that big, beautiful fella right there. Only time will tell.
Okay, so here, most of them are crossbreeds. And so that So these three are crossbreeds. They all have qualities that are not um, that would disqualify them from being any particular breed. This one is probably an older bird. When you have a coat that's lopped like that, it's always a severe fault, if not a disqualification, for a breeding show. The exception is if you have an older hen that's not supposed to have a lopped comb, the judge has to give them allowance for having a lopped comb as a byproduct of them laying eggs and being of breeding age, because that whole process takes a lot of energy, vitamins, and minerals out of the body of the hen. And we want them to breed, so we'll give them that allowance. With these three Australorps, this one has a little bit of white in its earlobe. It's not enough to disqualify it, but it's definitely a fault. This one, show us, it has a white tip in its feather, and that's a disqualification. But at least they have their own breed characteristics, like the bottom of their feet are white, even though their legs are black. They have the right comb, they have the right, all those things. And so they're doing well. And it's kind of the same with the ducks. These ducks should have a longer body than what they have for their breed. And so, but again, that's not a disqualification. And then the Wyandotte here, she's a little young, and it's really hard to know what she's going to be when she grows up. And that would automatically kick her out of placing for a breeding show. And so it makes it hard. I can tell you that the champion is an easy pick. The champion is the Australorp cockbird, because he has no faults that I could find. And so that's a good bird. Use him for breeding, but don't breed him to that hen. Okay? And then that leaves us with his Australorp hen, the Wyandotte, and the duck and the other Australorp. And I think of those, when you look at point disqualifications and the birds being old enough to know what they're going to be like in the end, the only two to consider are the Australorp hen and one of these two ducks. And I just wish these ducks didn't have such a deep body and such a short body. That would be so much better. But I can't change it, you know? So when you're breeding, look for body shape. It counts for more than color unless there's a color disqualification, okay? But the rest of it is, they're really nice ducks. But I think because body shape is typically more points than an earlobe, I have to go with the hen down here being the reserve champion. Oh, it's one entry. Okay, well then they're first and the duck entry is second. There you go. That made it easier.
All
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, that is the end of our breeding show. Our reserve grand champion, the one hand and one Drake, William Doherty, and our country roots in cowboy boots, poultry breeding, grand champion with the one hand and one cockerel, Dalton Dowrick.
Dalton Dowrick for the win. Grand champion breeding Will Doherty coming in spot number 2 with the reserve grand champ. Appreciate y'all joining us today. It has been a lot of fun. We're glad you We're here to enjoy it with us. We will have the round robin showmanship contest coming your way tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. My name, right there on screen. My name is Brad Doherty. This is Brock Doherty. He helped out on the camera a little bit today. We will be back 9 a.m. It's going to be a fun one right here on the Saddle Rock Sports Network.